welcome to Mud Road, guys. We got to talk about the Russian coup, the Wagners turning on Putin, the burning of Moscow, and Putin being dragged out and hung from the nearest light pole. No, none of that happened. So you guys keep up with the news. So I woke up this morning, Russian coup. I'm about to go to bed tonight. No Russian coup. So that's all the haters, all the pro-Ukrainians that were getting the big old Woody, thinking that this was the end of Russia. Let's get to the start. I want to get through this fast. There's a lot to talk about it. I was watching the Alexanders at the Durand. I think Alexander Moran, one of them, he was saying that over the last few months, a couple of months, 3 months or so, the British press was putting out stories. I'm talking fast because I got to get through it. The British press was putting out stories that Prigozhin and the Wagners would mount a coup against Russia, against Putin. Lo and behold, it happens. And then Prigozhin starts mouthing. He starts parroting Western talking points. I think... Now at the Durand, they don't think that the CIA got to Prigozhin and they bought him out. I do. I think he sold out Mother Russia I think the CIA put CIA cock, you know where, right? And Prigozhin liked it. They whispered in his ears that there is a grassroots hatred for Putin. There is a grassroots effort to want to overthrow the government. And all they need is a spark. All they need is you to come in and do it. Now, Prigozhin, he has a big ego, and he likes seeing himself as President Prigozhin. He thought that there were aspects in the military that would join in, that people would take to the streets. He thought that all those oligarchs who lost their yachts are going to back up behind him, and they're going to back his play. Well, none of that happened. It all backfired in his face. Now, what did happen was the regional governors and administrators from all over Russia, they picked up the telephone and they called Putin. They called the Kremlin. Their phone calls were lighting up the switchboard, and Putin was going, yeah. And they're like, hey Vlad, we love you. I love you. I'm on Team Vlad. I do not know that bozo. I am not behind that bozo. I'm with you. All the governors, the politicians, even politicians that are opposition to Putin, they all lined up. They all lined up behind Putin. They wanted nothing to do with Prigozhin. So Putin nailed down the political side. They're on his team. And in his own speech, because Putin came out and talked to his nation, Putin admitted he called up the commanders. So what happened after that is Putin called up all the frontline commanders, one at a time, personally. Yeah. The rock, the drunk Russian, right? It's Vlad. Tell him Putin. Yeah, hello, Vlad. Hey, bro. Hey, President. Still with me? One by one, the commanders on the front line and throughout Russia kissed Putin's ring. Where's my ring? Honey bunny, I'm sorry. They kissed the Putin ring. They bowed down, they bent the knee, and they said, bro, we don't know what Prigozhin's doing, but we ain't with him. Putin got down the military. He made sure they were on his side. He looked at the political side. They were on his side. He went and talked to the people. He took the pulse of the nation. They're on his side. Whatever the CIA, I really think that the Western governments are that stupid that they have no idea what Russia is today. Russia is not. There's a lot of people. People I know personally think this. Russia is not a communist country. They are not and have not been for a long time. One. Russia is not, NOT, a third world nation. They're not. Putin personally, pretty much, got out there with the shovel and has rebuilt Russia. Russia is a jewel. Moscow is a vibrant, modern city. Russia is a premier nation. They frickin' are not, get it through your head, a third world nation where you can just foment some banana republic coup. It will not work. You can't not even get a prime elite, because the Wagners are elite, battle-hardened 25,000 man army and overthrow the Russian government. It won't work. It's just impossible. And so Not even 24 hours later, I'm not sure when this started, but from when I found out, not even 24 hours later, Prigozhin looked at the situation. He got a call from the Belarusian president. I can't say his name, but pretty much the Belarusian president gave him a way out. I don't know what the way out is. I haven't looked into it, but Prigozhin looked at the situation, and it wasn't good. The people weren't on his side, not at all. The military, nobody was on his side. And the CIA, they slowly removed that cock from his backside because they wanted out of this too. Now, I laugh at the pro-Ukrainians who really thought this was something. Um, as soon as I heard about it, I thought it was comical. I had to work today. Today's Saturday for me. I'm doing a 6-day work week this week. And as soon as I heard about it, one of my cousins sends me a text, and I thought, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So I'm sitting on the throne, if you know what I mean. Yeah, that's where I read your text, cuz. So I'm sitting on the throne. I'm thinking to myself, this is stupid. What are you talking about? This ain't gonna happen. I did the math in my head. There's no way. 25,000 troops with no air cover, no artillery, going down the road 700 miles to Moscow. The Air Force is going to kaboom him. He's stuck in this one city with. It could get bloody. At worst case scenario, it can get bloody, but no. And let's get to the Ukrainian offensive. Fell flat on his face all year long. We've been hearing about this massive Ukrainian offensive. Even Lindsey Graham was bragging about the Ukrainian offensive. The Ukrainian offensive never even made it to the Russian first line of defense. It got bogged down in the buffer zone just outside the first line of defense. They got slaughtered. I don't know how to emphasize slaughter. Slaughter with a beautiful capital S. The Ukrainians got slaughtered. I feel bad for them as far as human beings in the battlefield and what happened to them. I feel bad that Zelensky has resorted to human wave tactics. And he is being pushed by the United States in particular, and the Pentagon, and Biden, General Milley, and the rest of them are in my mind, it's just cold-blooded a-holes. They are pushing Zelensky to do something because this whole war has backfired on the West. The sanctions don't work. The war is falling apart. Western, top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art equipment is being displayed to the world as an utter failure. The West keeps underestimating. Get it to your head. Russia is not a third world country. They are a very technical premier nation. Their tanks are kick the ass. They got jet fighters comparable, if not better than ours. They got hypersonic missiles. We don't even have that. Now look at here. Okay, I'm really frustrated with pro-Ukrainians. I'm really frustrated with the American general public because you're freaking idiots. This is Newsweek. This is as legitimate as it gets to you. All right. This is from this year, February of this year, 23. NATO allies would run out of ammo within days of a war with Russia. If you have no frickin', and the United States is included in NATO, if you have no frickin' ammo, I don't care how powerful your military is worthless. Right now, you don't want to believe me. I don't know why people don't believe me. It's right here. Newsweek, all right? Newsweek. They're legitimate to you. Look at your own effing news. Newsweek is telling you the truth. The United States of America and our NATO allies would lose a war against Russia. Oh, you say the article doesn't say that. Oh, you're just a freaking idiot. Do I got to do the math for you? We would run out of ammo within days of a war with Russia. I've been telling you this over and over and over again. If you have no freaking ammo, you can't win a war. America is weaker than Russia. Get it through your effing head. Newsweek. All right, it's not me telling you, Newsweek. And I have other articles from other mainstream media sources that you would accept. But you're effing blind. You live in denial. You won't see the truth. I got no idea what frickin' is wrong with you guys. The pro-Ukrainian people. Oh, you're an American. I mean, what? For telling you the truth? For telling you that China would sink our ships? For telling you that we would lose a war against Russia because we have no ammo? That the Russians have a better military capacity to produce ammunition than the West? That their tanks are better than ours? I mean, do I got to show you pictures of blown up American equipment, armor, taken out like if it was paper, cardboard? It's your pride. Pro-Ukrainians, those of you that are all patriotic, it is your effing pride and your ego. You cannot see the truth when it's right here in front of you, when a mainstream media source that you agree with is telling you the truth. You just won't accept it. And I cannot do nothing about stupid, because that's what you are. You're stupid. You are freaking stupid. Everything I tell you is the truth. I can validate it. People that like to call me propagandists and conspiracy theorists, they always leave out one little detail. Everything I tell you, I use, mostly everything, just about everything I tell you, I use Western pro-Ukrainian media sources to prove it. And that's one reason a lot of pro-Ukrainians just hate me, because I'm not using Russian sources to prove what I say. I'm using Western sources, and they don't know what to do with that. You know what they do with it? They just ignore it. They pretend they didn't see it. They pretend they didn't hear it. They pretend it's not true. They call me the liar. I do not know what to tell you. You're I don't respect you. Okay, if you can't see the truth when I present it to you with information from sources that you normally would accept, then I don't know what to tell you. I just lose respect for you, for your mental capacity. In conclusion, the Wagner coup went nowhere, and it went nowhere fast, and it never had any hope of going anywhere. The long-awaited Ukrainian counteroffensive has been slaughtered. It's not going well, and in many places, the Russian forces are beginning to advance forward. I'm not sure what's coming up next, because Russia isn't really an advancing army. They like to annihilate their opponent as they retreat. What they did to the Germans in World War II, what they did to Napoleon. Russia fights really well on the defensive, which is really a good way to fight. Being offensive is really much harder and deadly on your forces. But it looks like Ukraine has no more boom in their kaboom. Right? So, and I've heard other commentators say that Russia, whether they like it or not, they're beginning to move forward and advance. I'm starting to think, this is me on a limb, we may see Russia return back to Kiev. We may see, Putin did say that he was thinking about opening up another axis, another front line. And I think that he may send troops in from the north, the Belgorod region, but I am thinking he is going to go after Kiev. Remember, Russia never lost Kiev. Ukrainians didn't have a victory in Kiev. Russia retreated out of Kiev because it was part of a preliminary peace agreement. Russia retreated out of Kiev to show good faith that they were serious about peace negotiations with Ukraine. But what Ukraine did was they twisted the narrative and started claiming that they had defeated the Russians and drove them out of Kiev. There was nothing like that. What happened is that the Russians left, and the Ukrainians they went back on their promise, which is, in my opinion, normal of the Ukrainians and anything from the West. I don't care how many papers you sign; they do not keep treaties. They do not keep agreements. And so I think Putin recently put out that information about that Russia left Kiev, not because they were driven out, but because they did it as a good faith measure based on preliminary peace negotiations. And I think that is going to be the new axis. I think Putin's gonna show the world what he's about. He's gonna open a new axis, and he's gonna go back to Kiev, and I think he intends to take it. Thanks for watching the show. Thank you. Go get your beer. Remember, I'm a beer drinking channel. I'm just a novice at this, and I give my information, and I give my information with my unique way of doing things. It's okay. All right, later.